Hey everyone, Tyler here. I'm a cloud security engineer, and today I'm going to show you this handy tool called JQ, which allows us to interact with JSON data, either from raw JSON data or from the output of tools such as the AWS CLI. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use JQ in combination with the AWS CLI so that you can more efficiently and easily extract the information you're looking for. So let's get into it. So if you've used AWS in the past, you may have run commands like this to where we could list all of the IAM roles in our account. Well, all of this data here is kept or stored within this roles key. All right, so there is a parameter that you can use, -- query, and we can actually query all of the data within roles. And it looks just like that. So we get back the same information. This time, instead of the roles showing up here like it does right here, we just get the data within roles. So while this works, right, this is the AWS query parameter, it has a certain syntax that is specific to AWS. And so if you use a different tool like Azure or GCP, you're going to have to learn a different syntax to query the information that you want. And so this is where a tool like JQ comes into play and is super powerful, because JQ allows you to interact with JSON data from anywhere, from the output of any tool or just random JSON data that you have. You can use JQ and just remember the syntax for a single tool as opposed to a syntax for several tools. And so this is what I want to show you today, is we can pull the same information using JQ. We'll just pipe it to JQ. We'll do -r, which is going to remove these quotes. And then we'll do roles again, just like this. And we get the information back, and it also color codes it too. So it's all the same information, all about the roles in our account. Now, let's see if we wanted to query for a specific role. So I have a role in here called AWS Service Role for Support. If I wanted to use AWS syntax, -- query, all of this right here, okay? We run that, and we get that information. Now, I'm not saying that JQ is necessarily, better, or that the syntax is easier, but it's universal. We can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. So we want to query the service role. So let me copy the name there. Okay, so we got roles here. And then I'm going to pipe it, and we can select, and it's actually the role name. Oops. Role name equals, we'll put that into parentheses just like this, close it off. Single quote there. Okay, so we are diving into the roles information, which is all of this, and I am looking for the role name right here that is named this. Okay, so we run this, we're just going to get the information for this one role, just like we did, and I had a typo somewhere. So my typo is you have to do equals, not just a single equal. There we go. And we just get the information just like we did before with -- query, but now we get it with JQ. Okay, so let's go ahead now and show off some examples of where JQ becomes really powerful. And let's go back and list all of those roles again. We're just going to rerun that command, right? So there's a whole bunch of roles and a whole bunch of information related to those roles. All right, so what if I just want the role name? Okay, so we can just go here and type in role name. So this will just return the role names, all right? And let's see, maybe I want the role name, and then I also want the assume role policy document. So in AWS, a role can be assumed by users and services and other roles. And in some cases, that can be misconfigured and lead to some, privilege escalation and things like that. So maybe I just want to do an audit of show me all the roles, show me the assume role policy document. Okay, so that's going to look something like this. So I'm going to get rid of this, and then we're going to pipe it, and then we will do Got to put it in quotes here, and then role name. And actually, we have to escape it like that, and then escape another one. And then we said we wanted the assume role policy document. Copy that, paste that, and end the quote. That should work. Okay, so that works, but it's super messy, right? So we have the role name here, and then we have the policy document there. This is like unreadable. So what we can do is we can actually clean that up a little bit. All right, so we are going to, instead of this, we can do role name, and then, so we're basically giving it like a title. We're gonna do role name, and then we're gonna insert the role name there. And then I'm going to do a comma there, and then we can do a policy document. Policy document. And then we'll just do the assume role policy document. And get rid of that, and we'll close it off, get rid of that quote. And this should give us a nice JSON output, and it does. All right, so now we have the role name and then the policy document for every role in our account. All right, so just one more time, that's what that command looks like there. Now let's go ahead and rerun and clear the screen. We'll rerun just to go back to the data that we had before. And let's say that, okay, you know, this is a lot of information. I just want to know what the keys are for each of these roles. All right, so what we can do is we can then pipe this, and we can do keys unsorted, just like that. And that's going to give us the keys for every role. Now, you know, this is redundant, right? Because we have multiple roles. So what we can do is we can come up here, and then roles, we just want to do 0. So just grab the first role within all of the data there. And now we can see within each role, we should have these keys. All right, so clear the screen. Let's run that command again here. And you know, now I want to just maybe find all of the roles that have a path of / or the root, because some of these are service roles. Most of these are service roles. And I don't want those service roles. I just want the roles that are created by users, which a user can create a service role, but usually it's just going to be at the root there. Okay, so we can go there, and then we can do select, and then the path, and equals, and then it's a / equals like that. Close that up. Okay, so this should just return the roles that have a path of root, and it does. So return 3 rules with the path of root. Now, if we say maybe, okay, now we have the roles that we want. We just want the role name, and I want the ARN. Okay, so we'll pipe this again, and then we will do something like role name. And then I'm going to do a new line just so we can, well, I'll show you without the new line first. And then we'll do an ARN. All right, and quotes. Oh, you have to escape the ARN. And then there we go. So now we have the role name, and then we have the ARN. It's a little messy, a little hard to read, right? So what we can probably do is we can do a new line between the role name and the ARN. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now we have role name, now we have ARN, but then, you know, there's not a clear separation there. So we could add another new line after that. Now it's broken out a little bit. We can even make it a little more clear by adding a line like that. And there we go. So just some tips and tricks of how to use JQ with the AWS CLI. And keep in mind, you can use JQ for any type of JSON data. Whatever tool outputs JSON, you can use JQ. If you just have JSON files lying around, again, you can use JQ.